Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for registering and attending this 7-day online faculty development program on outcome-based education, OBE. This is being organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC of St. James College of Nursing and St. James College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Chalakudy, in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, the KSHEC. We would like to welcome Dr. Rajan Kurukul, Vice Chairman, KSHEC, Dr. Rajan Varghese, Member Secretary, KSHEC, and today's resource person, Dr. Mendus Jacob, and all the FTP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representative from management, HODs, IQAC coordinators, and all faculty members. About this FTP, this was a 7-day program with the live sessions at the timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Today is actually the last day of the FTP, and in case you have missed any of the live sessions, the recordings are available in the LMS for the paid participants. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recording for all the days, and also the participation certificate. If any of you are yet to make the payment, please make the payment of ₹300 to St. James Hospital to the account details in the chat that I will put shortly. LMS has got hands-on activities that are to be completed along with the FTP. Now, the LMS access will be there till the midnight of 26th of March. Your certificate will be available for download from the 23rd of March. So please wait till 23rd for the certificate to be available there for download. My name is 𝐻𝐞 𝐬𝐿. I'm the Global Relations Manager with IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, today, we will have the first session that will be the topic of best practices in implementing OBE. This will be delivered by Dr. Mendus Jacob, who is an MSc, MPhil, PhD, MIOD. Over to you, sir. Sir, I think you're on mute. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. All right.
Good evening and welcome to this last day of section on outcome-based education. Today we will discuss about some best practices. Then we will clear some of the doubts or some clarifications. Yesterday also some of you were asking about the mapping strength, the weightage and all. So I will give you an idea about that. I think some of the participants are yet to join. So we will start with an ice-breaking session, just like yesterday. We'll have a Mentimeter poll, so that will help us the further discussions today. I've shared a link in the chat box. Otherwise, you can go to menti.com and use the code which is there on the top of the screen. So frame questions on GST. So if you're teaching a course on GST, goods and service tax, you can frame questions from K1 to K6 levels. So if you write a question here, you have to mention the knowledge level also. Suppose as an example, what is GST? Hyphen K1, because it is a remember level question. Definitely this will help our discussions today. So that's why we start with a question like this. You can have an understand level question, or you can have an apply level question, or then an analytical level, or you can have a create level question or something like that. Okay. Okay, I'll share again. I think. Is it available, 𝐻𝐶? Is it available now?
Yes, it's available. I can see it. I just posted a question there. So are you able to see it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's coming. So what is GST? Or it's a K1 define GST. All these are K1 level questions, no? Describe GST. What is the level? You can just mention that level also. Explain the types of GST. Write down the basic concept of GST. Okay, these are all K1, K2 levels. Develop the strategy to calculate GST for industries. So what level it is? Just give the level also. Explain difference between GST and income tax. So what is that level? Develop the strategy to calculate GST for industries. Define goods and service tax K1. Define GST. Describe SGST in tax income. Okay, all of you, I think you are framing questions on K1 and K2 levels. Can you frame questions on K3, like apply level or then analytical level? Differentiate between CGST and SGST. Okay, what level it is? You put that level also. Okay. Now, frame a question on the evaluate level. Illustrate how GST affected small scale industry. Or can you frame a question on the create level, the highest level, like 𝐻𝐶? Calculate the GST for cement in Kerala. Okay, which level it is? Differentiate between CGST and SGST. K3, that means supply level. K4. Any create level questions on GST? Can you post a question on GST, the create level? the applicable GST slabs for the products to be manufactured in a company proposed to make items made of plastic. K3 level. Okay, fine. Okay, any career level questions? Anybody? Explain the demerits of GST and give your suggestions for improvement. That means you are actually, you are evaluating the demerits and give your suggestions for improvement. It's good. Compare GST and IGST. You have written K6, create level question. It is not create level. Because comparing GST and IGST, it can be maximum an analytical level question. Create a GST Excel calculation sheet for consumer shop. That also may not be a create level question. Okay. It can be maximum an apply level question. The word create is there, the verb create is there, but it is not a create level question. Create means something new, which is not existing today. Is GST a good means of taxation? K5. Okay, that's actually an evaluation. It's a K5. Describe. Expand GST. List out taxes exempted from GST. When did GST come into force in India? Explain GST, how GST has changed the indirect tax. What is that level? What are the different types of GST? Case it's construct the way to file GST in your business. It's only applied level, no? Define a methodology for further refine the GST slabs for value-added products made of plastic. Okay. Formulate the policies of newspaper agency services like that of lottery agencies. Is it case 6? Okay. Yeah, a lot of questions you have framed now. Just I'll give you some idea like what is GST? You know, everybody knows it's a K1 level. Issues and challenges faced by small vendors in Kerala. That is not a K6. Maybe you are analyzing it and maximum it's an evaluate level question. Okay, so what is GST can be a K1 level. Then explain GST with an example. It can be a K2 level. And if you're asking the student to prepare a GST return for a particular kind of business or something like it can be an apply level. Then if you ask the student to analyze or compare VAT and GST, okay, or you can ask the student to compare the VAT system in UK and the GST in India. That can be an analyze level question, provided if you have not given the notes the class. Okay, if you have already given the notes, then it's only a remember level question or a maximum understand level question. And then evaluate means you can compare various tax systems in different countries. Then you can ask the student to evaluate all these systems. What are the merits and demerits of each and every system? That can be an evaluate level question. And finally, create if you ask the student to develop a new system instead of GST, because you have already studied the merits and demerits of the system, you have compared with the many other systems existing in different countries. Now you come out with a better system. You develop a better system compared to GST. That can be a create level question. Okay. So this is an example. Then I will give you one more slide. You can use the same link. You can say use the same link, or you can go to menti.com and use the same code. Already the code is there. Now you can respond to this suggestion, like we can frame questions on create level for semester and exams. Your opinion. You may be teaching different subjects. Some of you may be in the health science domain. Some of you in the other humanities or commerce or different domains. Now, this is the question, or this is only a statement. Like we can frame questions on create level for semester and exams. What is your opinion? First response, no. Maybe in the last semester, okay. Yeah, you can reflect on this, not for all subjects. No. Okay. Yes. We can do it for project work. Difficult. I had given a question in accounts like create an imaginary financial statements using 5 adjustments you had learned. Is it a create level question? Even a question in accounts like create an imaginary financial statement using 5 adjustments you had learned. Is it a create level question? It is not a create level question, no? Maybe an apply level question. Postgraduate level, we can frame create level questions. No, will be difficult to evaluate. Yes. That's a good opinion. It's very difficult to evaluate create level questions because, for example, if you are teaching communicative English, you can ask the students to create brochures for a particular event or something like that. So each student will create brochures. Maybe it's a create level question, but when evaluating it, it may be difficult, like, the color sense of different persons may be different. So for objective evaluation, it's difficult if you have a create level question, the semester and exam. Okay. Yeah, even you can check like the question we have framed on GST, the create level, you have to ask the student to develop a new system. Okay, so in 3 hours, maybe most of the semester exams, maybe in 3 hours, you have to write the entire questions. You have to write the answer for the entire questions. So how it is possible to have a create level question? So developing a new system means it will take maybe days or months of study. And in a 3-hour exam, it is not possible to write the answer for that. So in most of the cases, it will be like that. You cannot have a create level question, and the student may not be able to write, answers for a create level question in a limited time. Okay. So this is again, a question, actually a question on GST. You can have different knowledge levels, but maybe up to K5, it's okay, fine. But beyond that, create level questions, it may be difficult. So in that case, yesterday we had a Mentimeter poll like this. Which are the activities that help the proper implementation of outcome-based education? Definitely, you can have create level assignments for project work or some other activities. Okay, so maybe the semester exams or your internal exams, it is very difficult to have questions like that. Okay, then for implementing OB, if you take this as an example, GST, everybody knows GST. If it is a course on GST, definitely you have to define the outcomes, the course outcomes first. In that case, how we will design the outcomes. Suppose if you have a course like GST, you can have an outcome like the students completing the course should be able to prepare returns, GST returns for different business firms or different industries like that. That can be an outcome. So to attain that outcome, we have to have different activities or assessments. We'll teach the students the entire theory, the concepts and everything. So how will you measure that the student will attain that outcome or 60% target or something like that? So for that, we are conducting exams. That is one way of assessing the student. Suppose your question is, what is GST? And your outcome is the apply level. Definitely the mapping strength will be only 1. Okay. So in most of the cases, this is happening in universities and education institutions. If you check, if you analyze the question paper, most of the questions may be in the first 2 levels. So to improve the employability of the students, you should have a higher order outcome and again a higher order assessment or activities. Like you can give a project work, you can have a case study, you can have internship. So through these activities, the student will be attaining that outcome in a more effective way. Okay. So this is the basis of, outcome-based education. Now I will give you some idea about the mapping. Yesterday, somebody was asking how we will do the mapping. Okay, the weightage and all. Okay, I will give you an idea about that by using this tool. It's a simple tool-based question bank. This you can use for conducting exams, maybe internal exams or external exams for autonomous colleges and universities. No, this is only an example. Suppose if you want to add a question, this section A, or section B, the second sheet, section C. This is a sample pattern, and you have all the course outcomes. All the course outcomes listed on the top. There are 5 course outcomes, and suppose if you want to add a question from the first unit, maybe your syllabus is divided into units or modules. In this case, I'm considering unit. Then from the first subunit, first topic, small topic, suppose you are asking a question. I'm just writing the same question, what is GST? Maybe the course outcomes are related to a computer paper. So just for your understanding, just I'm typing a question like, what is GST? Then you can map the taxonomy here. It's a number level taxonomy. Then the level, say easy or medium. It's an easy question because it's only a K1 level 1 question. Then the importance level you can map. Suppose it's a normal level. The nature of the question also you can map here. It's a theory question. And if it is an application question, you can put application there. Expire, because this question, what is GST, will not expire in 3 months or 6 months. You can put the answer key if required. You can have the placeholder. Placeholder means the most of the question bank, the institutions, they can share to the students. It's actually a best practice. You can share the question bank to the students. So if you want to hide a particular question, like if it is a create level question, then you have to hide the question, because once the student get that particular question, it will not be a create level question in the future. Then this is where we map this particular question to a course outcome. Here, these are the course outcomes, first course outcome. So this question can be mapped to a first course outcome based on a 4-point scale. This is the mapping scale. Suppose we are mapping this question to course outcome number 1. Maybe, yeah. I'm putting only the mapping strength weightage 1. This is the weightage you have seen yesterday. Okay, why have I put 1 here? Because the question is a remember level question, and suppose the course outcome may be an apply level question, apply level outcome. So the mapping strength is comparatively less. And this question, suppose it is mapped to another course outcome, that also is possible. In some cases, no, the institutions they will decide the course outcomes vertically, not horizontally. Horizontally means for each unit you may have a course outcome. Maybe in some institutions it will not be like that. Maybe for first 2 units of first 3 units combined, you may have 2 or 3 course outcomes or something like that. So in that case, this particular question you can map to different course outcomes. That also is possible. So this is how we will map a question to taxonomy levels and also to course outcomes. So once if you enter 5 or 6 questions, if you're using a tool like a question bank, you can upload this. You can upload this to a tool, and will show you how you can upload it, and okay. Now, suppose you're uploading the questions to the question bank, and you can have a vetting. You can assign some expert from inside or outside for a vetting process. So once if you use an ICT tool like that, you can have the complete control, monitoring and control of the entire question bank and all. Like this is only an example I told you. Some question, it's a sample question bank where the questions are vetted. Like there are 75 questions in the first question bank. 75 questions are vetted, and how many excellent questions, how many good, how many neutral, and how many accepted, how many rejected. All these things, this is the vetting report. So you can ask the external expert or internal expert for vetting the questions. Okay, then I'll show you some more tools. I think it is visible, or is it visible?
No, sir, your screen is not visible. Yes,
okay.
now it's.
This is a tool. Once if you enter questions into the Excel sheet or something like that, you can upload the questions, and okay. This is a dashboard of the controller of examinations. Okay, then you can manage, as I mentioned earlier, you can control and monitor everything. Like this is a question bank. We can see without seeing the counting the questions. You can see how many questions are there in each module, and how many questions are there in each category, like how many important level, how many questions from part A, part B, part C, how many normal questions, important level, then very important questions. And again, taxonomy levels, like you can see only 7 questions from the evaluate level. So what the faculty can do, the faculty can add more questions in that category. So every day they can just monitor it. The faculty can upload, for example, today suppose they are uploading 5 questions, next day another 10 questions, something like that. And in a period of 1 or 2 months, they can develop a question bank like this, so that everything will be controlled. Even the faculty can understand how many questions are there in each category and all. So this is a health check. Again, suppose if you want to generate a question paper out of this. Now, once the question bank is ready, question bank means it consists of all type of questions. Bloom's taxonomy level, we can classify the questions. Then, suppose in a question paper of 25 questions, you can have a blueprint like this. For example, question 1 from section A, from unit 1, what should be the taxonomy for that question? Now, and what is the importance level? Then difficulty level, nature, everything. You can mention. This is actually the blueprint. Okay. So each question we can put like that, so that, first of all, you can decide how many questions should be in the K1 level, K2 level, how many in the K3 level, like that, or how many higher order questions should be there, how many low order questions, like that. So you can preset all these conditions. Once you can have the question bank, then vet it. So you will have only quality questions in the question bank, and then we can have this blueprint. And based on this blueprint, the questions will be, the question paper can be generated. And it will take only 5 seconds to generate a question paper. Now a question paper is generated. So the same day the exam is happening, the controller can generate a question. Now we have generated 1 question, we will generate 1 more. So we have generated 2 question papers. Now these 2 question papers are here. Now without seeing the questions, the controller can check the quality of the question paper. Okay, how many questions are there from each category? So we have already, this blue means it is the required, type of questions. Then yellow means the obtained one. So there is some variation in this case, because this question bank consists of very few questions only for this demo purpose. So you can see in each category how many questions are there. And you can check both these question papers. The second question paper also you can check like this. Okay. Then out of these 2 question papers, you can choose one. Okay, suppose I'm choosing the second one. Choose the second one. Just to give a question paper code, and you can see the question paper now. You can print it, or you can send by mail. If it is a university, you can send by mail to the different affiliated colleges. You can take the print there like that. So this is a question paper of electronics paper. Okay. So if you are using ICT tools, when implementing OBE, to start with the questions, because every question should be mapped to Bloom's taxonomy levels. then do course outcomes, then only you can find the attainment. You can calculate the attainment. So it's better you can use a tool like this. Okay. Again, I will show you once the question paper is generated, the knowledge levels, then the CO, everything can be there in the question paper. This is an example of a question paper where we have the questions, each of the questions, and the knowledge levels, and the CO also mentioned there. These questions only sample questions, not properly framed. So maybe describe the origin of cell K1, K3, draw a neat sketch of ribosomes. It may not be a K3 level. So only for a demo purpose, I have shown you this question paper like this. This is useful for your accreditation purpose also. You can mention that your question purpose, everything is OB based. Like your internal exams, question papers, you can create like this. You can generate like this, and it is mapped to the different knowledge levels and also to course outcomes. Okay, so starting from the questions, framing questions, and framing quality questions is actually a challenge. And in most of the cases, especially for junior faculty members, when they start framing questions, the quality of teaching will improve. During the pandemic time, I think IIT Goa, they have conducted an exam like this. They asked the students to frame questions. They asked the students to frame questions and answer those questions framed by the students. Okay. And they have evaluated the answer purpose based on the quality of the questions they have framed. So each student has to frame questions, maybe 3 or 4 questions, and answer those questions which are framed by the students. So framing questions, definitely, it requires a lot of creativity, a lot of learning. So even if you can prepare a question bank like this in your institution, definitely your quality of teaching will improve. Okay. So this is one of the tools which we can use for developing a question bank. I will pass on to another set of slides where we will give you an idea about how OB can be used for the accreditation purpose, especially for the NAC accreditation, because for NB accreditation, OB is already there because everything is related to OB. So for NAC accreditation, you can mention OB in all the categories. Just to give you for criteria 1, okay, curriculum development and implementation. Indicators I have written there and implementation. You can start with an OB manual. So if you are implementing OB, the first thing you have to do is you should have an OB manual. Okay. In the OB manual, definitely you have to mention about the policy of the institution, your mapping, and all these things. Everything will be there in the OB manual, and we have uploaded a template for OB manual in the learning LMS. You can just go through that and use that as a reference. For effective curriculum planning, delivery, and evaluation through a well-defined process. So effective curriculum planning, delivery, and evaluation through a well-defined process. That is an indicator. So once if you start with OB manual, this can be an underlying thread throughout all these criteria up to criteria 7. So this is again connected to OB manual. The OB manual, you will be mentioning all these things like a CO course plan, CO linked assessment plan, everything comes in the OB manual. Interdisciplinary, interdepartmental courses, what is the need of having interdisciplinary courses? Definitely, if you have a set of POs, to attain those POs, you need different courses. Not only the core courses, you may need different courses. Then certificate add-on value-added courses. The need analysis again. Why you are designing a certificate course or add-on course. Okay, so based on your outcomes, you have to design different valued courses or add-on courses, and that should cater, to the attainment level of the different POs and PSOs. Students enrolled in certificate add-on valued courses, definitely that also an indirect benefit from OBE. The students undertaking project work, field work, field visits, clinical, industrial internships, all this comes in the criteria 1. So again, you can mention when we are implementing OBE, we need to have all these, activities or assessments, because this will help you more to attain the outcomes by the students. Cross-cutting issues, learned professional ethics, gender, human values, all these may be there in the PO. Okay. In criteria 2, teaching learning process, because there you can mention about OBE in many places. Assessment of the learning level of students, like slow learners and advanced learners, how you are assessing them. Yesterday, I have shown you some analytical reports. Based on that, you can say that you are, identifying the students. Then what are the measures taken for slow learners or improving their performance? Then student-centric methods. So all these student-centric methods, these are actually, we will provide a good learning experience for the students. Experiential learning, integrated interdisciplinary learning, participatory learning, problem-solving methodology, self-directed learning, project-based learning, and more. Many things we can include there. And all these are based on a OBE approach, student performance and learning outcomes, that is the attainment level. Okay, we are calculating the attainment. Criteria 3, workshops and seminars conducted. Why you are conducting a workshop? What is the purpose of that seminar or webinar? Whatever. You can link all these things to the outcomes. Number of collaborative activities for research. I think most of the institutions nowadays, what they are doing for collaboration and MOU, for the sake of having a collaboration or MOU, we are signing with the industries or with other institutions. But when we look at the outcomes, to attain those outcomes by the students, we need a specialized collaborative activities, or we have to identify institutions or industries for that purpose. Consultancy and extension, definitely that will empower not only the teachers, even the students who are involved in those projects to help attain the outcomes. Classrooms and seminar halls with ICT-enabled facilities such as smart class, LMS, that is definitely a tool we can use for the learning purpose. And I think most of you have gone through the workshop activity, the lesson activity. Already I have mentioned that the lesson activity you can consider as a tool for assurance of learning. And when we implement OBE, definitely assurance of learning comes there. Then in criteria 5, capability enhancement and development schemes such as, so these are skill development. So in OBE, the objective is developing the employability of the students. So naturally, skill development should be there. So we are bringing the students to the next level, the higher order. Okay. And the 21st century skills like creative and critical thinking, then problem solving, all these are based on a new education policy, because in NEP, they're focusing more on the 21st century skills like creative and critical thinking, problem solving. These are all higher order learning. Okay. The other skills also like communication skills, soft skills. Most of the institutions, when they design the POs, definitely the communication skill may be there, the PO. Okay, all these things you can mention in criteria 5. Okay, competitive exam, career council placements, self-employment of outgoing students. When we implement OBE, definitely the placements, the quality of placements will improve. Not only the placements, because when we equip the students for the higher order knowledge levels, thinking skills, definitely the quality of placements will improve. They will their pay packages, definitely all these things will improve. In criteria, it's implementation of e-governance in areas of operations such as academic planning and development, student admission and support, examination. Here also, suppose you may be using some tools. Once if you start implementing OBE without a tool, it will be very difficult. You cannot do it manually. So for examination and all, you can have some e-governance there. Teachers undergoing faculty development programs. And if you start implementing OBE, definitely it can be a 5-year plan, because wherever OBE is implemented in a proper way, the teachers, the stakeholders, everybody, they have to learn more and more things. They have to research, they have to identify the innovative teaching learning processes. So in our college, we have started implementing it, in 2016-17 when we became autonomous. Now also we are learning new things. Many things we are implementing, many innovative teaching learning assessment methods. Okay, so it's a continuous learning process. Minimum 3 years it will take to complete a full cycle. Like if you are planning to implement it for a UG program, it will take 3 years, for completing a PG UG program, then taking the feedback and making necessary changes in the syllabus and the outcomes. So it's a continuous process. As a best practice, here also, clearly defined learning outcomes. That clarity is there once if we implement OBE. OBE emphasizes clear and measurable learning outcomes for students. Students will also get a clarity. What is the outcome, or what is the objective? Then helps institutions ensure desired levels of knowledge and skills. That is the assurance of learning. We are assuring a student who is joining in our institution that they will acquire a desired level of knowledge and skills. Okay, and this is very much useful for accreditation purpose. Focus on student learning. OBE focus on student learning rather than just teaching. Okay, this we have already explained all these things. Institutions can design curriculum and assessments aligned with the desired outcomes. Okay, once if you have an outcome, well, once it fits an outcome, then you can design the curriculum based on that. So maybe every year, if you are an autonomous college or a university, you can revise the curriculum based on the feedback and the attainment level of the students. Continuous improvement. OBE encourages innovative teaching learning, continuous assessment and evaluation. Helps institutions identify areas for improvement in teaching methods, curriculum, and learning outcomes. So the attitude will change for a teacher who is passionate about his career. Definitely, this will improve the skills, and he will be a researcher. So how best we can provide that learning experience. That is definitely a topic of research. Flexibility and adaptability. OBE allows institutions to be more flexible and adaptable. Okay, we can have even you can provide the students with a lot of options. For example, in our MCA program in my college, the catering to student diversity, that is an important thing. There are students they may be good in programming. Very few students. Some students, they are not good in programming, but they may be good in some other areas. So we have provided 4 specializations for MCA students here. 4 specializations. In addition to that, we ask every student to do an online certification. That is a must. That's a 0 credit course, but it's mandatory. And they can opt any online certification, provided the department should approve it. It should be a valid one. So lot of flexibility we are providing to the students. Okay, so based on that, we will define their outcomes also. Better preparation for the workforce. OBE helps institutions prepare students for the workforce. Students acquire knowledge and skills that employees are looking for, contributes to economic development of the country. So you have already have the section by Dr. Suresh Nambudiri. He has mentioned about the employability and all, according to a research conducted by his team. So OBE is the only solution for improving the employability, the skills. some additional tips like identify specific performance criteria for each learning outcome. Specific performance criteria for each learning outcome. Then use descriptive feedback to provide students with a specific information about their performance. We can have descriptive feedback. Encourage students to reflect on their learning and use self-assessment to identify areas for improvement. So that is a feedback system. Use their portfolios to document and showcase their learning and growth. We can have separate portfolio for each and every student. Okay, based on that, you can they can showcase their learning and growth. Again, if you're using some tools like Padlet, I mentioned this yesterday, you can have a separate portfolio for each student on Padlet. Use standardized tests or assessments to measure quantitative metrics. Okay. Set benchmark scores to measure student achievement against specific standards or goals. Use data analysis to identify trends or patterns in student performance over time. This also I have shown you yesterday. Use comparative analysis to evaluate the effectiveness of different teaching methods or curriculum interventions. So this is also possible. The effectiveness of different teaching methods or curriculum interventions. We can analyze that also. Use data visualization tools to present data in a clear and understandable way. You can have the data visualization tools. Okay. These are OBE, the importance of, especially for NAAC accreditation. For NBA, it is already there. The NBA accreditation process is based on the OBE only, the outcome-based education, the attainment, the feedback, everything comes there. So for NAAC also, every year they are adding more things about OBE, the criteria. So again, this is a systematic approach once if you start implementing OBE. Now yesterday I mentioned about Padlet. I will just show that also. Padlet is actually a free tool you can use for teaching learning purpose. It's a free tool. You might have gone through the video of Padlet. It's already there in the LMS. You can just go through that video, and you can have a free account. You can have an account on Padlet, and you can use it. But there are some limitations. But the free tool, you can use it. This is actually a paid one because I have more Padlets, so it's a paid one. I will just show you an assignment. I'm teaching OR and graph theory for MCA. So this is one assignment I have given to the students, like identify the applications of OR and graph theory in computer science and upload on the Padlet. This is the Padlet. Copy of the content already submitted is not permitted. This is a CARS activity. We have a continuous assessment activity. It's called CARS. CARS means continuous assessment in research skills. So they have to research. So some of the activities comes under CARS. This is one activity which comes under CARS because they have to do some research on internet or somewhere for this particular assignment. So this is the assignment. Identify the applications of OR and graph theory in computer science and upload on the Padlet. Copy of the content already submitted is not permitted. Okay. So that means, suppose we are giving an assignment like this. I have given 1 month time. Okay. So usually what happens, the last day, everybody will be submitting their assignments, and probably most of them are just the duplicate of the others who are already submitted assignments. They will copy and paste all these things, But here, this is a condition: copy of the content already submitted is not permitted. So this is transparent. The students can see all the assignments already submitted. This is the first student who submitted the assignment the first day itself. That means I completed my session at 1:30 p.m. From 2:30 p.m. onwards, the students are submitting their assessments. What is the reason? The reason is this condition I have given there. Copy of the content already submitted is not permitted. So the first student submitted the assignment in 1 hour. After that, another student submitted it. Then like that. So what happens, we have 60 students in the class. The last student, when he submit the assignment, has to go through all these submitted assignments. Then only he can submit it, because it would not be a copy of already submitted assignment. So in that case, the last person always, maybe a lazy fellow. So he will learn more, like he will be going through all these assignments, and he has to search more on internet or other books. Anyway, this is again a learning activity, learning process. And finally, you can see the same day itself, by 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., all the 60 students have submitted their assignments. So I have given them 1 month time, and they have submitted the assignment. Now I will just go through these assignments, and I will reject some of them, because some of them may not be having enough content there. May not be, they have researched much. So in that way, it's very easy for us to monitor and control all these activities. This is a free tool. You can use it, and not only for submitting the assessment, many other things you can use it, even for this is another Padlet. Ask the student to give the we can have their profiles and their photographs, their achievements, everything. We can ask them to post it like here, and we'll have an idea about even when we are not in the class or not in the college, we can have some idea about the students. Many such things we can use, video creation task. They can post their videos here. So this is one of the best tools we can use for some of our teaching purposes. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, we will answer those questions, and then we will have a feedback session. After that, Dr. 𝐻𝐿 and Dr. 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐴, they will join for the valedictory session. We are expecting a message from Dr. 𝐻𝐿 and Dr. 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐴. So, how do you calculate 𝐺STK4? Okay, you have given some propose a GST matrix considering the digitally. So I think the chatbots, you have given some questions based on GST only. Okay.
If any of you have any questions to Dr. Mendus, sir, you can post them in the chat, and sir will answer them. There's a question: is it necessary to use a Padlet?
Not necessary. Yeah, this is your choice, no? So all the ICT tools now you can use it for a better teaching learning experience.
Teaching, learning, pedagogy. Please put some light. Kamala's teaching, learning, pedagogy. Please put some. I think she needs difference between teaching and learning.
can use still, no? Moodle is free. You can configure it according to your requirement in the institution. Moodle is free only. Okay. So you can have a learning management system. It's open source. It's free. Moodle, is there any other LMS we can use? There may be other learning management system which are proprietary developed by software companies. But Moodle is a good platform. Alternative Padlet. I haven't seen anything alternative to Padlet. There are tools like this, you know. And the LMS, we have given some more education tools. You can just go through that also. Okay, we will go to the feedback session again. Then the customize according to your requirement. It's only a template we have provided in the LMS. Okay. I have shared a Mentimeter link, and you can give your responses there. Otherwise, you can go to menti.com and you can use the code which is given on the top of the screen. So what is your opinion about this blended model of FDP, which incorporates both interactive live sessions and LMS-based tasks and assignments? So this you can use for your online training purposes also, like a blended model. You can just go to that link provided in the LMS, sorry, in the chat box. You can respond to this question. Otherwise, you can go to menti.com and you can use that code. The code is also given there. Okay. So we are getting some responses like this. Participants can learn at their own pace and convenience. So that is most important advantage. Okay. So when we are designing an online course, it is better to have live sessions plus a learning management system like this, which consists of the contents already posted there. Then we can have task, assignment, everything. Okay, so this is the trend. You can see improves self-learning skill, help to circumvent connectivity issues, all of the above. Very good. Okay. Okay, this is the trend. Then we will have another poll again in the chat box. And otherwise, you can go to menti.com and use the code. The code is there on the top of the slide. How did you progress? How did your knowledge progress through this section? Okay, so this is the trend. Anyway, improvements are there, no, in your knowledge level when we progress through this FDP. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for your feedback. We want your suggestions, maybe for our future, or maybe some suggestions for improvement and all, or future programs. You can give your suggestions here. This again, we'll share another Mentimeter slide. I've shared another one. You can go to that link, the chatbots, or you can go to menti.com. You can use the code. It's given there on the top of this slide. Okay. You can give your suggestions, your open suggestions. For our improvement, no? Your suggestions for improvement. Yeah. Less complex assignments. That means assignments may be less complex. Okay. Hello, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Sir, കയറിയായിരുന്നോ? ഞാൻ Okay, so this is the feedback. So we'll start the valedictory message in 1 or 2 minutes. Gurkal sir is already there. Include group activities and class during the live sessions. It will help participants to share their views. This activity has been a good one. We learned a lot from. Okay, so definitely we will provide mentoring help. You just contact us. We are mentoring many institutions.
There is one question which says that it will be helpful if you can download the recordings continuous use after this FTP. All these recordings are there in our IPSR academics YouTube channel. Okay, so if you go to our YouTube channel, you can see all the recordings there. So we won't give this to you as links, but you can go to our YouTube channel and get it. There was one more question on when can we get the certificate. As I told you, will be available from the 23rd of March. So please complete all your tasks and assignments in the LMS so that you will be able to download the certificate, because that needs to be completed for the download of your certificate. Also the feedback form. Sir, I think you're on mute. Are you saying anything, Mendus sir? We will move on to the validative function now.
Yeah. Purple sir is there, so we will.
Yeah, all right, okay.
We will move on to the validatory session.
Yeah. We will move on to the validative function. We will have some words from Dr. Rajan Gurukul, who is the Vice Chairman of KCGC. Dr. Rajan Gurukul is the former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam. Dr. Rajan Gurukul is a leading Indian social scientist, historian, professor, and writer. He has written many books and articles on different topics and also received the awards for his works. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me at the outset express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Mendus and his team for giving most timely kind of technical resourcefulness to our teachers. You all know that we are at the national level itself progressing in the track of curricular restructuring in order to cope with the global benchmark. It is essential to restructure the curricula with precedence of learning over teaching and turn undergraduate programs into multidisciplinary, postgraduate programs to be highly advanced, and make research invariably interdisciplinary. Universities have to restructure the curricula, learner-centric, demanding maximum utilization of multiple academic resources, stress self-learning under ICT environment, and make academic practices including evaluation under learning management system. The universities have been called upon to introduce new generation academic programs catering to what the knowledge economy, a system based on intellectual capital, demands, is high-end participation in the production and exchange of knowledge, scientific discoveries, and innovative technology. Academic programs should cater to information economy, an aspect of knowledge economy which demands tacit knowledge, that is skill in generating, storing, processing, communicating, and exchanging information or data by using digital technologies, today's main workplace competence. So it means that we will have to equip our students in digital technologies, irrespective of the fact that their knowledge area could be totally different sometimes. Digital enablement at the institutional level for life cycle management of the academic clientele of universities and colleges through enterprise resource plan based on in-house competency is also important. And it's quite clear that this training is precisely addressing that. Likewise, outcome-based education is another important aspect of higher education. As you all know, Benjamin Bloom, along with a group of educational psychologists, developed in 1956 a classification of intellectual behavioral levels. And some people think that it's out-fashioned and not quite important and so on. But this classification has become a taxonomy of learning, including 3 overlapping domains: the cognitive, the psychomotor, and affective, as you all know. See, this team had considered this taxonomy of learning as a project in progress. The cognitive domain evolved into two cognitive processes and 4 categories of knowledge, and you have already understood these technical aspects. Anyway, you know now how outcome-based education is heavily dependent on digital technologies, and it is important to know how outcome-based education is operationalized with the help of digital technologies. And this training that you have undergone is of immense importance, because you as already I have been listening to your questions and then responses. It's really encouraging to see that you have really got the expertise, because without certain basic knowledge and operational skill, you cannot raise such questions. So in the context of higher education, now in teaching, outcomes are important. Outcomes are identified at the program level as well as at the course level. These program outcomes and course outcomes, course learning outcomes, can be written in a structured manner, following the template of revised Bloom's taxonomy. We say Bloom-Anderson taxonomy, facilitating teaching assessment and measurement of their attainment. Measuring attainment of outcomes is a very important requirement for accreditation in the country and in the state. So all over the country, we have now teachers rather making an inspired rush to get themselves trained in this. I am extremely happy to see that this workshop has been made use of with a lot of involvement and seriousness. Now, drawing once again immense satisfaction, I extend my gratitude to Dr. Mendus and his team, and all of you who wholeheartedly participated in this, taking benefits with total involvement. Now, I congratulate you all. Thank you very much. Was I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible. Yeah.
Okay. Now you can go ahead with.
Yeah, I think 𝐻𝐸𝐺𝐸 sir is not there. He's
Yeah,
just
he has been
yeah.
traveling, and he may not be able to participate. So shall we wind up?
Yeah, we can wind up.
Yeah, I think then we will move on to the vote of thanks. The vote of thanks will The vote of thanks will be delivered by Reverend Sister Symphoria, a Vice Principal, St. James College of Nursing.
A pleasant evening to all. On behalf of St. James College of Nursing and St. James College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Chalakudy, I extend our gratitude to Dr. Rajan Gurukar, Vice Chairman of the Kerala State Higher Education Council, for accepting our proposal to conduct FDP in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council. We are also thankful for spending his time to share his views and opinions on OBE and for addressing the delegates with your inspiring words and ideas. We are grateful to our resource persons, Dr. Mendus Jacob, Professor and Director, MCA Program, Marian College, Kuttikkanam, Dr. 𝐂𝐞𝐬𝐿, Adjunct Faculty, Marian College, Kuttikkanam, and Dr. Suresh Nambudiri, Product Design Specialist for the sessions. And all the sessions were very informative, and training sessions through LMS were very much interesting and effective. I acknowledge the support and guidance received from the management of St. James Medical Academy, especially Reverend Dr. Andrew Alapadan, Director, Reverend Father Manoj Mekadat, Associate Director, Principals of both the colleges, Reverend Sister Teresa SIC and Dr. 𝐂𝐞𝐬𝐿 for organizing this FDP. I express sincere gratitude to Mr. 𝐩𝐫𝐚𝐜, Senior Manager, Training and Corporate Services, and his team, IPSR Solutions Limited, Kottayam, for their ardent support throughout the program. I express sincere gratitude to all the participants from different states of India for their eagerness, contributions, and cooperation. I wish the training sessions were very useful to you and will be implemented in your institutions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for those wonderful words. Thank you, everybody, for attending this 7-day workshop. We will be extending the LMS access to all the paid participants till the 26th of March, and you will get your certificates from the 23rd of March. So please complete your assignments and your tasks in the LMS. There are 2 MCQs as well that needs to be completed, and the feedback form, so that you can get your certificates from the LMS. Okay, the certificates will not be sent separately to you in your mails or anything. You have to download it from the LMS itself. If you have any questions more, you can type them in the chat. We will be pleased to address them as well. Thank you again. Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you for attending all these 7 days. If you still need the recordings are there in the LMS. And if you want it further beyond your LMS access, the recordings, they are there in our YouTube channel. Okay, so if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can actually see all these videos there. Okay, so you can still refer them for your learning. Yes, the feedback form is in the LMS. You will have to access the LMS for the feedback form. The feedback form is there. Feedback form is in the LMS. Okay, I can see the question being reposted again. All right, thank you, everybody. I think we will end the session for today. And we will hopefully see again all of you for another FTP. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.